Hello, New Zealand. Welcome to Sweet Chain Live. It's episode 50. Happy New Year. Hope you had a great holiday time. I'm joined, as ever, by Brady Cush. Good evening, Brady.
Good evening, Matt. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. Did you have a good holiday season?
I did, thank you. It was very relaxing. Played a little bit of disc golf and spent a bit of time outside. And yeah. So did you get anything nice for Christmas? I see that someone took your beard away from you for Christmas. That seems to be the wow, what happened there?
New year, new me. I don't know. Last year for Christmas, I went south, went to the West Coast, got a little wild. I guess being back in the North Island in the capital, felt a little bit more professional, got a podcast celebrating 50. So, new year, new me. Let's see how it goes.
Good stuff. Well, it's great to see you. I honestly thought that you were someone else when you first came on. But anyway, we've got a great show lined up today. We've got hot scores, which we're going to go up first up. That's the hottest scores from the last 2 weeks. So if you played over Christmas or the New Year period and you shot well, then you could get a shout out. We're going to go report on the Wellington Summer League, which started yesterday. We've got some news. A few things have happened since we were last on air. A few international moves, a few New Zealand moves, and a few other things that we need to cover off as well. We're also going to be looking back at episode 1 of Sweet Chain Live back in late January. It was about 2 weeks. It was about mid to late January last year. We'll see how the show has grown and changed over that time. We'll be talking a little bit about what our favorite episodes have been since then. We've got Desert Island Disc Golf. So I've got my discs with me. So Desert Island Disc Golf is going to be a lot of fun. After that, Leon Botha joins us. And he's going to be talking to us about the plan for the upcoming Discmania 1 in 10 announcement, which is going to be coming very soon. More on that later from Leon. We're going to be summarizing what the upcoming events are. And also, if you're in the capital this Saturday, then come along to Hoska up at Petone on Saturday morning. We'll be doing the spin of the wheel for that. To help us with that spin of the wheel, I didn't put a vote out this week, which is careless of me, but anyway, we're going to do it now. So what I need you to do, anyone who's listening, throughout the show, we'll tally the results at the end. We want to know, you can either vote for back nine, you can vote for mulligans, so we'll spin the wheel to see how many mulligans people get, and there's also someone else, your opponent chooses your disc for every shot outside circle 1. So place your vote in the comments below which ones you want to play or you want people in Wellington playing. You can vote. I'm not going to count. If you want to vote more than once, you can, but I'm not going to count and check. And then we'll do a spin of the wheel at the end of the show with all the comments, getting a segment of the pie to see which one wins. Okay, so we're going to start with the hot scores for the last 2 weeks. So, Brady, do you want to take us through the South?
Yeah, as always, let's start 2022 the way we started 2021. Hot scores. Let's start down south. Invercargill, let's go with Jaden Menzies and Bray Marsden coming in at 14 under par. Nice shooting down there. Out in Chingford, up in Dunedin, we have Cameron Mackey coming in at -7. The new Brockville course, Tom McKay, team captain, taking -7 for the hot score this week. Jumping over to Queenstown, we have Jaden Watkinson coming in at 17 under par. Jeez, crow, that course is just getting easier. Out Tucker's Beach, always sunny at Tucker's. Jaden Watkinson again coming in at -6. Apparently he cooled off by the river. Over to Wanaka, let's go. Ryan Cambridge takes out Lismore's hot score, the 11 under par. Nice shooting, Ryan. Ely Point, Dom Hayden coming in at -6. The Silver Fox still got it. Let's go up to the Garden City, Jelly Park. We have Sergey Sanin, David Lakes, and Sebastian Falconer taking out Jelly's hot score at -12. Out at Booker Ave, we have Dwayne coming in at -8. And if someone can verify it, I would love it. Please send us the UDisc scorecard. Queens Park Reserve, Taylor Malzard on a 9-hole course comes in at 10 under par. So congratulations, Tyler. I really want to see that scorecard. Matt, take us through the north.
So coming up to the capital, starting at Berhampore, Brady Cush and Jung Ha hit 7 under par. Brady, you hit that twice, I think, over the Christmas period. So very well done to you. Hikoikoi Jackson's been in the capital for the last few days and put in the hot score at Petone with a 5 under par. Mitch Hudson has taken a break from work and hit 9 under par at Harcourt Park. Woo! That is indeed, that's a very strong score. That beats any of the scores from 2021. So he started off the year very well. At Linklater, Jackson Sullivan hit 7 under par, so well done to him. At Inglewood, Conor McKinstry was out and about with 9 under par. And at Spa Park Reds, Levi Stout hits 9 under par. So very well done to Levi. Good to see you in the North Island. Flaxmere, Anthony Rogers hits 5 under, and at Tauranga, Jimmy Tutufu hits 8 under par. Fantastic score at McLaren's. And at Henderson, Jeremy Brockenshire hits 7 under par. Another South Islander coming up to the north for a holiday. So very well done. In the first sanctioned disc golf of 2021 in New Zealand was Wellington Summer League, which played yesterday. And Jackson Sullivan took it out with a 1,000 rated on the nose, 7 under par. So very well done to Jacko. Right, what are we doing now? Now we're going to go through some news. Now, quite a bit's been happening since we were last on air. We've got a few player moves. There's been quite a bit of stuff happening. Quite a bit of movement, largely away from Innova. This international scene for now, largely away from Innova, and to Dynamic Discs and Trilogy, which is fantastic as a Trilogy fan. We covered that before, but anyway. Brady, any highlights for you from player moves?
Well, I mean, I have to shout out Discmania. They've kept a couple of their pros and actually moved them up. So Kyle Klein is now on the Sky team, so he joins Eagle and Simon. And then One Throw Ella, our ultimate, she's moved up to the tour team. So it's really good to see some people are, like keeping their pros. I think Discraft did the same. Missy Gannon got an extension. But to be fair, Haley King moved away from Discraft. That was a big kind of surprise to me.
Yeah. Yet to be decided where she'll move to. But I was surprised by that. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so I think probably the big surprises for me were the women actually for the move. Mm-hmm. So with Haley King moving away from Discraft, I am super happy for Kona Panis. I think that Dynamic Disc is an absolutely incredible choice for her. I can't wait to see she's already have some footage out with Eric McCabe. So, she's already getting tutelage as well. So that's going really well. But also Katrina Allen just won the world champion. Matt, we were talking about this before the show of she just won a world championship, her second world championship, and she's ending her tenure with Prodigy. That's kind of a huge surprise for me.
It seems a bit bizarre. I think if that was any other company, you'd market the shit out of that and put an extension on her contract and give her basically anything she wanted, right? That's what I would kind of see. I guess it shows how companies like Discmania, which start off as a marketing company and have now started producing their own discs, so are now a disc manufacturer. But prior to late last year, they were a marketing company, doing such a good job making sure that their pros are well kept after. Whereas a team like Prodigy, and I'm not sure on the Prodigy brand, I don't know. I'd be interested to hear people's thoughts on this. I find their brand to be a little bit absent. Do you know what I mean? A little bit kind of not bad, not it's not a negative. They just don't. It doesn't seem to be a brand. It just seems to be a company that makes some discs. But if you ask me to kind of describe the kind of values or their feel, I couldn't do that in the same way that I could do with many of the other companies. So I think that's interesting that they've allowed her to go. Obviously, Matteo went to Westside as well, so there's been a bit of a movement, arguably away. But they did retain Kevin Jones on an extension for 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, which is a good move, right? It's a good move. He's a hot player. And then there's the big one. The big one that's happened, which was Ricky moving away from Innova and coming back to Dynamic Discs, or back to Trilogy for the to the Dynamic Disc brand. He's got a load of his own. I don't know if they're tour series, they may be signature at the moment. That have come out in the Orbit plastic. If you've not seen the Orbit plastic, it looks lovely. And I'll tell you what, if you've thrown one, you'll know even this is a bolt with the Orbit plastic. Very nice. And they've got a bunch of his discs coming out very soon as well. And he's on the same deal as Macbeth, albeit for 4 years rather than 10, and a sign-on bonus of $250,000 paid in Bitcoin, which is interesting, right? Different way of doing things. Yeah. And if I heard an interview with him where he was talking about how he's big into his crypto, and that was something which he wanted to do, and felt that would be right for him.
Well, I was going to say, it'd be pretty remiss for us as a New Zealand, disc golf podcast to not talk about the elevation of our own players here in New Zealand. We have to give a big shout out. Absolutely.
Now, I wanted to get onto this as a separate thing, because I do think it deserves some attention. So this is the news that Phil Botha, Johnny Ferrari, Liana Cristina, Roberts Crestin, Stephen Reed, Hemi Teafitu, and Mikey Yu have all been promoted, I guess you'd call it, to the Innova international team. So very well done to those guys and girl. And previously it was Hemi was on the team, but he's now been joined by another 6 New Zealanders, which I think is really good and shows how Innova, at least in New Zealand, are willing to invest in the development of the players here. So fantastic work, well done to those 7. We'll be following, and very, very best of luck for the upcoming season. Any thoughts?
I'm just debating whether Leanna cares that the N was left off the end of her name or not on the announcement. But I also noticed I have to give shout outs to like Aussie, a lot of the Aussie pro disc golfers. I don't know if you guys are listening and that kind of stuff. Ryan Budgie I think he's from Melbourne, is Team Innova as well. Cassie Sweeten is also, she's up there. I know, there's a dynamic disc guy out there. There's a Castaplast Chile who's based in Sydney. Like that. Yeah. The Southern Hemisphere is, got a few sponsored players now. And so it's really good to see us kind of getting some love here in the Southern Hemisphere. Is really nice to see.
Absolutely. So very well done to those guys. And we'll see more of them as the year progresses. And I'm sure we'll speak to many of them as we go. Next item I've got is that the Pdga membership hit 200,000 very recently. So congratulations also go out to Zach Taylor, who is currently the median New Zealand Pdga member. So what that means, my data analytics team tell me, is that half the New Zealand registered Pdga members registered before Zach Taylor, and half of them registered after. And his Pdga number is 138918. So if you have a Pdga number lower than that, which many of you do, about 300 of you do, then you're in the first half, which is incredible, really, to think that 138918, that would have been registered in about, I don't know, June, July of 2020, I suspect, is when that happened. So it took 44 years to register half of the players that we've then seen in the last 14 months. Or maybe 18 months. That's ludicrous, isn't it? That's huge.
Wait, so Matt, are you below or above?
I'm below, so I'm 131.
Okay, so you're before.
And incidentally, my daughter, who was born in March 2020, is 135. So even she's in the top half, and she's not even 2. So so well done to everybody there who's joining, and fantastic that that there's so many people joining. We've got a member of the Wellington Summer League who's got a 200k Pdga number. Woo! So that's always good to see. And finally, in the news segment, the Southern Smash, which is being played at the end of this month on the last weekend in January, 28th, I think I've got the date right, of January, that weekend, is now you can play if you don't have a vaccine passport. So if you want to get involved, then you need to go to probably the best place is to go to their Facebook site and check out what the registration requirements are there, and then then you can play in that. So which is interesting. It's an interesting thing that's been made available, and I wish it all the success. I hope that it goes ahead, and it goes ahead without any attention at all, really, other than the disc golf. So yeah, but that's the news. If you want to get involved with that, then go to their Facebook site, or have a word with Johnny and Bray. They'll also be able to help you out. Right.
And yeah.
Sorry, go on, Brady.
Oh yeah, if you know, like if we miss something in news, or you know, like there's a player that got sponsored or moved from one sponsor to another, that kind of stuff. You know, like if we think we overlooked someone, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Perhaps we'll pick it up by the end of the podcast here.
Absolutely. Right. Next up is it's our 50th episode. 50 episodes today, which is crazy. Crazy to think that we started this in January last year, and we're up to 50 already. Just to show where the show's come from, I thought I'd play the first little bit of episode 1 because you know, it's always good to see for anybody who I know. Look away now. It's not too pretty, but we'll get there. So this is episode 1.
Kia ora. Welcome everybody. My name's Matt Drake, and you're tuned into Sweet Chain Live. This is the first episode in a series of episodes live on Facebook that's going to give you a bit of news and features on disc golf in New Zealand. So I hope you enjoy it. We're going to be doing some covering lots of things over the next, I don't know how long it lasts, 10-15 minutes maybe, including going through some of the hot scores from around the country. We've got a little bit of international news. We're going to be doing a lost and found. Also going to be previewing some upcoming events. Going to be doing a Q&A, so if you've got any questions that are burning whilst we're doing this, then drop them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them either at the end or after the stream.
So there we go. That was a little preview of episode 1. If you do want to go and have a look at past episodes because you've, I don't know, bored or whatever, then hop onto our Facebook, onto our YouTube channel. To Sweet Chain Music YouTube channel, and all of the previous episodes are there. And yeah, so that's episode 1. We were filming it in my kitchen. That was before we moved into the studio. Yeah, so that was good before everything really. Before the disc wall, before all the features. But a lot of the things we've kept the hot scores going for all that time, which I'm really pleased about. So yeah, we've kept that going. We've kept the event previews. Lost and found, we ditched that after 1 episode, I think. That didn't last. But no, it's been good. And personally, highlights for me, episode 18 was a particular highlight, which was to do with the board discussions. So if you remember this back in May, we had most of the members of the New Zealand Disc Golf board on and discussed with them how what they were going to do for the year. Any luck, they'll agree to come on again in May, and that'll be around episode 70, I reckon. Excuse me, and we'll be able to have a chat to them again. And also episode 34 with Bob Gentle, where he came on and gave us a little bit about the potted history of New Zealand disc golf, which was particularly entertaining. So, yeah, particularly enjoyed those ones. Brady, any that stuck out for you?
I always enjoy like interviewing the pros, like like our pros, New Zealand pros. So, like Jasper was really fun when he came on like episode, I think it was 36. And to hear him talk about his win that he almost lost, because he was playing too aggressive. But then we had him back on like on episode 44, and like he'd learned his lesson. So it's really kind of fun that it's like, sweet, you win, like the local tournament, or you win the national tour event, that weekend, and next Thursday night you're with us here on Sweet Chain, and we're talking to you, like about that kind of stuff. Zach Taylor, actually, you brought him up earlier in the show. His episode, I mean, he's a pretty quiet guy, but I love having rounds with him, and honestly, he's brilliant. Like his mind goes, he has so much he can talk about in and around the sport. I'm super happy to have him on like the Discmania 1 in 10, and to know that he's sponsored by NZDSS. So yeah, those are some of the big ones for me, like just kind of talking with other guys around like this great community that we have here in New Zealand.
It's been, and you're right, it's the interviews for me are really, really do it. So I thank you so much to everybody who's come on onto the show in the time we've been doing it. And actually, the data analytics team have got some interesting data on this that they've been able to share. So in very much like the power rankings that we know and love, and that have been.
Do we have Sweet Chain Live rankings?
Well, we do. So this is the number of appearances non-guests have made on the show. So there we go. We've got a bunch of people with 2 appearances. Liana Christina with 3 appearances. And at top of the shop at the moment, congratulations to Bray Marsden, who has made 4 appearances on the show. Congratulations to Bray. Also, congratulations to Bray for the birth of his daughter, Blakely, very recently. So congratulations to him. I hope you and the family are doing very well. So I took all of those photos from the live stream. So if you've got any comments about whether they're flashing or not, then, well, that's what came out. So very well done to Bray for being top of the standings for Sweet Chain Live. Right, now we're going to move on to a new segment, a segment that was introduced about halfway through the year, which was Desert Island Discs. Desert Island Disc Golf. And Desert Island Disc Golf, for anybody who hasn't watched the show before, the premise is that our guest is stranded on a desert island, and they're stranded with on a desert island that's got a disc golf course, and they're stranded with 3 discs and 3 card mates, and those card mates can be disc golf players, or living or dead, or fantasy players, or whoever they want, and just to get to know them a little bit more. And we also introduced our Quickfire 18 as well, where we have a family-friendly front 9 where everybody gets the same 9 questions, and then a this or that safari back 9 that's Quickfire. So just to try and get to know the players a little bit more. And we've done this with a number of players over the times that we've been running the show. And this week, it's my turn. So
yeah, I was gonna say, Matt. So, you're on a desert island. You have 3 discs. You have 3 card mates, either living or dead. Who do you take with you? What plastic are you throwing?
Right. So I'll go through the discs first. Where do you want me to start? Now, a few people guessed this one right, but not quite right, because we did run a little competition. Nobody got it, by the way, but a few people guessed the mold. This is it. This is an Opto Chameleon Musket. Many people guessed Opto X. It's very close to Opto X. It's slightly more overstable than a regular musket. Little story behind this disc is that I got this disc in about during the first lockdown, like April or May of 2020. And I was able to get out after lockdown and throw it, and hated it. And so I put it back in the garage and left it there for about 6 to 7 months. Came back to it in early 2021 and just loved it. It was great. And at Middle Earth Open especially, this one hit the fairway the vast majority of times. So I was very, very grateful for a musket. This one, it started to misbehave a little bit on me recently. So he started to not quite come back at the end. So we'll see how long. I've still got a lot of time for it, and maybe I just need to adjust the throwing angle and not throw it into headwinds so many times, perhaps. But Opto Chameleon musket, 175, I think 176 grams is my driver. My second disc. So last year, Latitude 64 brought out their Royal line, and the disc I have is a Trust, as you can see there. Now this one's beat up. This is a prototype Trust out of one of the Royal boxes from, I think it was the Royal Box 2. I think it was Royal Box 2. The prototypes are more overstable than the regular stock runs. So the stock runs have since come out, and if you've got your hands on one, then they're great. I mean, the plastic feel they've got, their Royal Grand plastic is really, really good. So if you do get a chance to throw one, then please do, because they're great fun. Numbers on it 5502, so probably similar to a Kotuku, but I find this one's beefier than a Kotuku. Might be because it's prototype, and as I said, the stock runs are slightly less stable. But again, in terms of upshots, approaches, and anything you might not want to throw a driver or be putting with, this was great. This is great. So this is my second disc. This is a Trust prototype. I carry 3 of these. This is my favorite one. It's the more stable of the 3. But yeah, lovely disc. Feels great in the hand. Plastic is quality. Yeah. Finally, my putter. My putter is, many of you guessed this one right, actually, is a Keystone. So this is a zero medium confetti, they call it. It's got lots of bits of stuff in it. And it's understable. It's got loads of gouges and stuff out of it now because I've had it for 18 months. But this is great. I find that as a throwing putter, I actually prefer to throw this as well as putt with it. And this is my favorite one out of the lot. So I've got several. I carry 4 in my bag. I've got mostly the 3 zero mediums and 1 zero soft, but this, if I had to choose, this would be the one that I'd take with me. So that's what I'm putting with, an understable putter. So if you imagine when James Conran was at Innova, he had his greenie, his like beat up like 200-year-old AVR kind of, was it an AVR? I think it was an AVR. Yes. This is my greenie, right? This is just the disc the amount of times I've had to lean on this for an Anheuser glidey, exactly how you just did the arm motion. The amount of times I've had to rely on that has been great. So they're my 3 discs: a Keystone, a Trust, and a Musket. They're my 3.
Well, Matt, just for the viewers, because you talked about having 4 different Keystones in your bag, and when you're going to a desert island, you're only taking one of them. Can you give us a bit more insight into like why you chose like that confetti plastic versus like was it the BT Hard that you had 3 of?
Yeah, so no, I've got 3 zero mediums, 2 1 confetti and 1 non-confetti. To be honest, I don't think the confetti makes a difference. I think the confetti is merely aesthetic. And so when I bought it, I thought, oh, that looks all right. I'll get one of those. I've got a few of them, but this one has sort of stood the test of time better than the others have. And so yeah, that's just all it is. The reason I carry 3 is that when I putt, as part of my putting action, I like to have another disc in my hand here. And so what I normally do is in the side of my bag, I carry 2 putters. I have one to hold in my hand and the other to putt with. The reason I carry the other 2 is if one, I carry a 3 0 mediums and a 0 soft. The reason I got the 0 soft is I'm trying to work it out to see if it's going to make a spot in the bag or not. So that one's kind of I don't know. But the other 3 are so if I lose one, I've still got the other putter I can hold in the hand, because that's just part of my putting routine. When you step up to take a putt, that's just what I prefer to do. So yeah, that's why I carry that many. Also, it means that I can slowly rotate them. So if I've got tap-ins or I've got putts that I'm more confident with, then I can putt with the other putters and they slowly break in over time. And so I've got like a bit of a what do you call it? A line of discs that are all coming through at various different states of wear, which can be an advantage to have that kind of scope and scale of stability.
Well, and speaking of worn in, like, who are you taking? Are you taking some grizzly veterans out to the island with you? Are you taking your missus? Who's coming?
So yeah, so it's the 3 people I'm taking with me. It's going to be So here we go. So the first person I'm taking is my fiance, Linga Fiola. She's fantastic. She's great, and I take her to any desert island for the company, for the disc golf. She started playing disc golf after we started seeing each other, and has just kind of jumped in and, in her words, thought it was a bit of a loser sport, and then started playing and is like fully invested. So and so yeah, anyway, she's coming with me. And I hope this is okay. The second person I'm taking with me is her dad. Now she lost her dad about just under 10 years ago. And she was very close to him. And I never met him. I never got to meet him. But I really would like to have done. And so, given that this is the thing that it is, then that's who I take, because I know I've heard that he was great at sports, played a lot of cricket. I think looking back at the videos and the photos, he'd be a laugh to hang around with, and I think we get on. So he's my number 3. He's my number 3. My number 4. My number 4 is my dad. Now I lost my dad 4 years ago. But if you're looking for a proximate cause for why I'm sat here doing this and playing disc golf and doing stuff with disc golf, he's the reason, right? So when I was a kid, I used to play frisbee, just throw catch on my grandma's lawn with my dad. And when we go on holiday, we always take a frisbee. And he's the reason why I started playing frisbee in the UK. And when I went to university, I joined university and joined the Ultimate Frisbee team. And then after that, I moved to New Zealand, carried on playing Ultimate Frisbee, and then finally got into disc golf. So if you're looking for, hang on a minute. So if you're looking for a proximate cause, if you're looking for a proximate cause, for why I play disc golf and why I'm on a show talking about disc golf, then he's the man. Is the reason why. He often would say things like, it doesn't matter what you do, just be good at something, find something that you like doing and be good at it. And yeah, so that's the reason why. And so yeah, they're my three players. They're my three players. I'm taking with me. I'm taking Linga, I'm taking her dad, and I'm taking my dad. And I think we'd have a great time. My dad had a pretty mean backhand, actually. His sidearm was nothing, but his backhand was pretty accurate, at least with an Ultra Star. So yeah, that's my three.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what doubles team is winning? You and your dad, or Linga and hers?
Oh, that's going to be close, eh? That's going to be really good. That's going to be really close. But look, we'd have a great time, and we'd have the best time. So yeah, that's my three.
That's awesome. I think that's an I applaud you for bringing them and to take this where it needs to go. You know, like I think meeting Linga's dad out on the course on a desert island, you know, like playing disc golf would be an incredible way. You know, like to meet her dad. You know, like that would be so much fun. Speaking of so much fun, are you ready for a little quick fire, Matt?
Yes, let's raise the pace a little bit, shall we? And let's
get
back to the show. Yes, indeed. Come on then.
Okay.
So what you got for me?
So for everyone listening, these are just a little quick fire, you know, like it's family friendly front nine, you know, like same questions every week. And then we try to mix it up with the back nine to throw a couple curveballs, you know, like Matt, you want to be thinking on your toes, think quickly. First thing that comes to your mind, you know, like they're this or that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
What's your name?
Matt Drake.
Place of birth?
Exeter, Devon, UK.
Where do you live now?
I live in Wellington, New Zealand.
What's your Pdga number?
131640.
How many years have you been playing disc golf?
Four, yeah, about 4.5. More seriously, about three years.
What's your favorite disc?
This one. Trust.
Trusty Trust. What's your favorite course?
Harcourt Park.
Favorite Mpo player?
Favorite Mpo player. I should have thought about this. I've done it plenty of times. It kind of changes. Right now, Matty Orum's one of my favorites.
Matty O.
Yeah, I kind of throw like him a little bit, and he's just joined my team. So yeah.
Roll Tide. Favorite FPO player?
Paige Pierce. I've got a lot of time for Paige. I'm fortunate enough I get to talk to her sometimes, and so it's been really good. She's given me some tips on form and stuff, so that's great.
Careful, Linga, watch out. No. Okay. Now, family front nine is over. Now we get to the Safari back nine. Here we go. This or that. Vancouver Grizzlies or the Toronto Raptors?
Oh, Raptors.
Fishing boat or speedboat?
Fishing boat.
Soggy chips or crispy chips?
Crispy chips.
2 daughters or a boy and a girl?
Boy and a girl. Yeah.
Pool or darts?
Darts. Yeah, darts.
Okay. Man of honor or groomswoman?
Man of honor. I don't know what that means, but go on.
Win the tourney or throw 1,000 rated round?
Oh. I'm going to break with convention here and say 1,000 rated round, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
Retire in New Zealand or the UK?
New Zealand. Easy.
And finally, personal disc golf course or professional podcast studio?
Sorry, listeners, it's a personal disc golf course.
There you go, Matt. That is your Safari 9. That is your quick fire round. Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much for letting me and indulging me on Desert Island Disc Golf. It's been good fun. Right now, where are we moving now? We are moving to our guest this evening, who joins us from Christchurch. You know him and I know him. He's got some important news about the Discmania 1 in 10 announcement. So welcome to Leon Botha. Good evening.
Hey, Matt. Good to see you
How are
guys.
you?
Yeah, it's crazy. If you hear any funny noises in the back, we're in full production right now. So sitting in the office trying to squeeze this all in and balance the disc golf life and all the other little companies that I have running around. So it's a bit of a sweet one, but it's all good. It's been a good couple of weeks.
Excellent. Now, earlier on in the year, I think it was about episode. It was pretty early on, early on.
Yeah, it's February.
We announced on the show the 10 members of the Discmania 1 in 10 team, and at the time, and even now, fantastic opportunity for someone. You've got some news on what's going to be going on, what the next stage is. Do you want to talk us through what you know?
Right. So just to recap, 10 guys applied and were chosen by Discmania to try out, in essence, for a professional disc golf contract. We're into stage 2, where of the 10, 4 are selected to progress to this season, 2022. And what's going to happen now is that it's been 5 weeks that I've been chatting with Discmania team manager Avery Jenkins. We've been backwards and forwards. Obviously, he's been talking to everybody on his side, the powers that be. It's been tough. They're very specific about who they're looking for. This is not something that they are taking lightly. We at NZDSS are certainly not taking this lightly. It's never been done before in New Zealand. It is a big deal. It's an opportunity that has never come about before. We're hoping we can do it again in the future. So what's happening now is that the 10 have been whittled down. There are 4 names, and they are now sitting with the powers that be. Avery is taking that, and it's under big discussion. And so what's going to happen is, at the moment, as things stand right now, on the 27th, right here on Sweet Chain Live, we will get a live crossing from the United States, from Avery Jenkins himself. And he will be announcing the 4. I have had some input, and I have an idea of who the 4 are. But I also don't know who the 4 are, because the final decision rests with them. Although DSS is basically unpacking most of the sponsorship for this year, Discmania is, of course, supplying the 4 players with new bags, Discmania bags. They will be getting a full set of Discmania discs, brand new, for this season. Each of the 4 will collect $500 from NZDSS for being chosen, and to spread the love amongst all disc golfers in New Zealand. What Iran and I have decided is that we are going to offer up a bit of a comp. If people comment right here on your show, Matt, if you don't mind, who they think the 4 players are going to be, and if more than one person predicts the correct 4 people, then I think we can do it into a draw. And the prize is going to be 10 Discmania discs to really sort your bag out. And if you haven't been on the Discmania train, like so many people in New Zealand, I cannot thank everybody enough for basically almost, I want to say, proving a point, although it's not really the right phrase, but that Discmania is a really, really great disc. And all people needed was the opportunity to have access to them and have a big enough selection to choose from. And we said to Discmania at the beginning of the year, if we can provide that, then we know that the brand will take off in New Zealand. And it really, really has. It is a very sought after disc. If you look at the buy-sell pages, you can see some serious auctions going on there for Discmania disc. It is a hot product out there, and I'm really, really grateful to everybody that has made this brand so prevalent in the last 12 months. Discmania is, to put it bluntly, beside themselves. They are really, really happy to have managed to grab such a big market share here. And we're very proud to have been a part of that. So obviously we want to give back. And so after the announcement on your show, Matt, let's see who's predicted the 4. And yeah, man, we will be shipping off 10 brand new Discmania discs, and they will all be chosen. The 10 will be chosen between Avery and Simon. So it's not just hey, what have I got in the beast? It's a case of this is what they reckon is a good set of discs for the winner. So I think it's something that's going to be pretty special.
That's fantastic, and that's so. First up, 27th. That's in 3 weeks' time. Yes. So that's episode 53. For you're going to be wanting to tune in on that day, on the 27th of January. That's actually an interesting episode. I'll be doing that episode live from somewhere in the South Island. Because I'll be in between Heislander and Seven Smash, so we'll be doing that show on the road. Brady will be presumably in Wellington. Right. So yeah, so we'll be doing that show slightly different, but looking forward to it. That's going to be an absolutely fantastic announcement.
I'll tease you with this. There's a rumor that a certain German might join the party as well. So. Yeah.
Well, that would be fantastic.
We're hoping we're gonna try and pull it off. Yeah, like I said, they are pretty serious about this. It's going to be, I think, 2 o'clock in the morning for them.
Yeah, so, roughly 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning.
But they are
in Denver anyway.
Keen as and very excited. It's actually such a pleasure dealing with Discmania. They're a great company. They really take what they do seriously, although at the same time they're very fun. But one thing I must say is they definitely back their supporters and people like us. Of course, it's not just that we are clients of theirs. I don't believe that comes into it at all. We have a great relationship with them, and they are as excited about the 4 and how they are going to proceed. And so all those little videos, all those Instagram posts, they are being noted and they are being watched. We had Ashton with the skins match where he threw that ridiculous shot to take the $1,500. I mean, yeah, that was noticed. So it's good. It's really good having people like that having their eyes focused on New Zealand disc golf. I don't think we could have asked for more. I don't think we could have asked for a better partnership. And we're really, really excited to see where this goes, and basically as a sponsor, give someone a leg up into the world. You can imagine there's millions of people out there every single day that are sending letters and emails. Please sponsor me. Please notice me. And we have this really once in a lifetime opportunity to take someone from New Zealand and put them front and center in one of the greatest disc golf companies in the world and say, hey, look at this guy, look what he's done, he's met your criteria, how about it? And that'll be exciting. I think the day that happens, it'll be good.
Absolutely. Now someone has asked who the 10 were. So what I've got here, for anybody who can't quite remember, is this is the group of 10 that were on this is in no particular order. So Patricio, Zach Taylor, Connor McKinstry, Ben Wheellake, Willie Taratana, Ashton Clark, Brady Cush, Mitch Hudson, Sebastian Faulkner, Isaac Howard were the 10. Yeah, they're the ones who could be in with a chance, and we'll find out at the end of in 3 weeks' time who will win. And if you want to put your guess, make sure you put your guess into the comments below.
I'm excited. I'm really excited, and I'm excited to be able to announce it to the world on your show, Matt. Yeah,
oh, that's very kind. That's very kind, and I'm looking forward to having Avery Jenkins join us. Never know, he might even join us for Desert Island Disc Golf as well.
Hey, you can only ask. I mean, you can just laugh at him and carry on.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you so much, Leon, for that update. That's going to be a good. That's going to be a good episode, and one that you can all look forward to. So make sure you tune in then on the 27th of January. Anything else to go through?
No, I think that's it. Get those names down there, and let's see who's the lucky fella. And again, appreciate the time on your show, Matt.
Excellent.
Thanks very much, Brady. Thanks, man. Always good seeing you. And
good to see you too, Leon.
We'll talk soon.
See you later. Wow. So there we go, Brady. We've got something to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. That's going to be a good announcement. Yeah, if you want to put your guess in, you can put your guess in on YouTube or on Facebook. We'll be sending the all the guesses off to Leon and Iran a little bit closer to the time.
Hey, Matt, we should get our data analytics team to see who the picks are, of the 10 who got the most picks out of them. Do you think your data analytics could look into that?
Yeah, they could do something like that. A people's champ, if you like. Yeah, we could certainly do that. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get to that a bit closer. A bit closer to time. But yeah, no, that's fantastic. Right. So we've got that to look forward to now. Upcoming events. There's quite a few events that are in the pipeline. I did have a thing on them. Where is it? It's there. So we've got coming up, we've got the west side of Woodville, which is on the 15th of January. The same weekend as the Roxburgh Open down in Roxburgh. If you want to play either of them, that's on the 15th, 16th of January. North Island Champs in Auckland, 21st to the 23rd of January. Head over to their Facebook site, and they've just released some drone footage of the whole layouts for North Island Champs. So if you're interested in that and you're going, then make sure you go and check that for a bit of a sneaky preview of that. If you're not going to North Island Champs, but you'll be in the capital, then and you fancy playing some disc golf for the day, and I mean, when I say the day, I mean the whole day, then come to Wellington Centurion. The idea here is that on Wellington Anniversary Day, we are going to be playing 101 holes of disc golf spread across the 3 courses in the capital, par 307. If you want to be involved with that, we start about 7:30 in the morning. Just give us a shout, and we can arrange that. We start about 7:30 in the morning, finish about 7:30 in the evening. We start at Harcourt Park, then to Petone, then to Berrenport, playing 101 holes over the course of the day. The weekend after that is Heislander. So I've got my dates wrong. So Heislander is the one before. Heislander comes after our Discmania announcement, so that will be coming from Wellington. And then the Southern Smash is the weekend after that. And I'm very much looking forward to those 2 tournaments because I get to be a pro disc golfer for about 10 days, living van life for just before Heislander to just after the Southern Smash. So very much looking forward to that. And then finally, the NZ Disc Golf Championships in Wellington from the 3rd to the 5th of March. Plenty of other events that are going to be coming up as well. And we'll add them to the calendar as we go. Right.
Well, I was going to say, Matt, can I do a quick two quick shout outs, I think.
Go for it. Yeah, totally.
So one big shout out to Chris Corbin and everything he's been doing down in the Marlborough Sounds. So as far as I know, Blenheim is very close to finalizing the installation of their tee pads and baskets for their course for Marlborough Disc Golf. So keep a lookout for that in Blenheim. For those of you down there. Also, I know that for those of you in the capital who aren't getting enough disc golf this weekend at Hosker, the idea of Henley Lake, the beginning of installation happens this weekend. So the idea of 9 holes and 9 tee pads are going into Henley Lake in Masterton. So we have 2 new 9-hole courses coming into the center of the country. So look out for those on your radar and your UDisc maps.
I'm very much looking forward to that. I didn't get to play the Masterton like pop-up events. I'm so very much looking forward to making a trip over the hill and a day out in the sunshine of Masterton and playing some disc golf. So that's going to be good fun. Right. Finally, we've got Hosker this weekend on Saturday morning. So if you want to, if you're in the capital, then come along. We're going to spin the wheel now to see what we're going to do. So I haven't seen too many votes, so we'll just put a third of the thing on each one. And where are we? It's there, I think. Here we go. So we've got Mulligan's back 9 or Opposition chooses your disc. And on Hosker, we should be playing Opposition chooses your disc. So this is going to be a good bit of fun, actually. The way this will work is that you'll be put into, will be in cards of 4. And the person who's going to throw after you chooses what disc you're going to throw from wherever you are, right? So it could be off the tee, up until circle 1. Anything within circle 1 you get to choose. So thank you, shout out to Richard McDonald for coming up with this idea. It'll be out of your own bag. Someone else will be choosing the disc that you throw. Should be a good bit of fun. And obviously the championship round follows that. Excellent. I think that's everything, Brady. I think that's all that we've got for tonight.
Well, I was going to say, this is the first episode of the year. Do you think, should we give the listeners like one intention of something that like we want to do this year, like with the show?
Okay. Go on then. Kick us off.
Yeah, I think my goal is I want to interview the winner of the tournament every tournament this year. So like, that's my goal of to try to make sure to track down live every Thursday night the winner of the tournament from the weekend before. I want to have them here on Sweet Chain Live for 12 months.
I think that's a really good goal. And yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a very, very good thing to do as well, because I think that people want to hear from the people who win the tournaments about how they went about doing it and etc. So my goal for the show for this year is to get some overseas pros onto the show. So I'd love to have some of our kind of known overseas names, if you like, that we see on Joe Mez and everything else. I'd love to have a few of them on the show to interview them, and to give them to ask them a little bit about what they do from a New Zealand perspective, and perhaps they can easier to get to meet everybody, and you can have your questions answered by them as well. So yeah, I think that's probably 2 pretty good goals actually for this. So we'll for this year. So we shall see how well we get on. We've got a few. We've got a few irons in fires, so we'll see whether they can be ready at any time this year. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Congratulations, Matt! 50 episodes, 1 year in. Well done, my man.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't think I'd get past about half a dozen, because I figured that only about 3 people would watch, and they'd be people in my household. So I'm incredibly grateful for everybody who tunes in each week. Shout out to Stephen Reed, actually, who messaged me earlier and said that he'd be listening to tonight's show from the cab of his tractor. He's out mowing a meadow or similar, and so shout out to him. And thank you so much to everybody who tunes in, week out, whether it's on Facebook, Whether it's on our YouTube channel, head over to our YouTube channel, give us a like and a subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really does make a difference. And also over on Spotify, you can follow us on Spotify if you do miss an episode and you want to catch up when you're at the gym in the morning or on your daily commute, then you can do that through that channel too. Lovely. I think that about does it for episode 50. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We'll be back next week, episode 51, and we'll be straight back into it. We'll be previewing Roxburgh and west side of Woodville, and we'll see you soon. Thanks very much, everyone. Take care. Play some disc golf. Get some birdies. See you later.
Peace.